So we're going to work with log sines again today. I collected your homework yesterday. I think you guys did pretty good with your log sines. Now, log sines can come up like all over the place on your Regents exam. They can be part 1, part 2, and like the general questions that you guys saw, or they can be on the part 3 as a 4-point question, but they are usually this type of like double triangle question, which is a little bit harder, but once you do them, they're all done the same way. And we kind of need to devote like a whole day to do it just because they're so long, and I didn't want to rush through it at the end. So it contains a couple really important properties. One thing, when you guys are looking at a straight line and you cut it into 2 angles, what does that have to equal? 180. Good. So what does the x have to be? 120. Okay, this is really, really important when we look to do the double triangle problem. Now, what do all triangles contain?
Technically, they all contain 120, 90 degrees, 80 degrees. But the
She's just saying that every single triangle has at least 1 to 180 degrees. So you could say that it contains any of those.
So I think you should change that.
Okay. Contains a total of 180. There we go. All right. So we're going to have to use that with all of our stuff today, right? Before we even start, let's read our problem so you guys can kind of see. They usually give you guys a triangle already made, which is nice with this stuff. So you're sailing a boat offshore. She sees a lighthouse. Calculates the angle of elevation at the top of the lighthouse is 3. She sails the boat 700 feet closer. Later, she finds out the angle of elevation is now 5. All right. How tall is the lighthouse? All right. Well, yeah, it's 3.
What part of a Regents is this?
This would be like the part 3 of the 4-point question.
Not even a part 3.
I love when I read Okay, so some of the things that you guys are going to want to look for, if they don't fill this in, it's kind of something that they want you to know. If you have an object straight down, you even look at the legs of your desk to the floor, it makes a 90-degree angle. So this is 90 degrees. Okay, we might have to fill it in if it's not there for you. Now with all of these, we want to label everything we know, right? So if there was other information here that we didn't have on our picture, we want to label everything first. So what you're trying to actually figure out how tall the lighthouse is. So this is our end goal. We got to figure out that lighthouse. But in here we have 2 triangles. Now the big clue, and this is how you always want to start them, okay? This part right here is always your key. Okay, it's kind of the first thing we did. Right? If this little piece is 5, what does that other angle have to be?
95.
175, because it has to make 180 degrees. So this little piece is 175. Let's make this bigger actually. Right in.
Oh, but this would be one of the other angles, right?
Yes, Rita, good job. Exactly right. Okay, so this is 175. Nice. Now, from this piece, you always have to figure out that missing part. It's kind of like we're unwinding things. Now, every triangle has to have 180 degrees. Good job. Nice. So here we have this one's going to be 2. It's very tiny. Right? And then we have this was 90. And then 5. What was the top one? 5. Great. Okay. Now do we have everything we know labeled? I think we have all the angles possible, so this is good. Okay. Really, really, really important. This says find the middle section, okay, first. Right. Well, see how you have 2 triangles?
Oh, like where
they connect. What's that called? Reflexive. Like, isn't it reflexive what they can do? Okay. Okay. Or something like that. So if you guys want to find this part first. Okay. We aren't going to be able to go to find the ending goal right from one step. It's going to be almost a 2-step problem, right? So we're always going to be finding the middle section first. Okay. So if we look at the middle section, and we make that our x, what we're going to be doing is using the law of sines twice here to get to the final answer. So in my first little triangle, okay, we want to use this x, right, in something. and you want to use the part of the triangle that has a side given to you. See how this triangle out here?
Can we just redraw that?
Yeah, if you want to redraw it, absolutely. See how this triangle gives you a side? Right? So we want to start with that green triangle first because it has the most information for you. So if we start using our law of sine, x, bless you, which one, and Frida, like just like you said, if you wanna redraw it, feel free. What does the x go with? What?
3.
Sine 3. Good job. Nice. Sine 3. Remember how we did our labeling? Like which one was across from it? Okay. Now the other thing you guys know is we have another side that's 700. Right? Where does the 700 go with? Sine of 2. Good job. Very weird. We have such small little degree measures here. And don't be afraid to, if you really want to take this out, it's fine. Right? If you're more comfortable with like setting it up like this being the 700, 3, 175, 2x, and that's easier for you to see, by all means, go for it. Okay? That will help you. So we have the two sides and two angles. We need to use law of sine here.
Do we not round this part?
Very nice, Rita. I like what you're saying here. Okay, so let's figure out what this is going to be. Okay, we're going to cross multiply. So that's 700 equals x sine 2. And then we're going to divide by sine 2. And then Frida said something very good. We've got to be careful with. Okay. Divided by sine 2. Okay. Now, is that what you guys got too?
Yeah.
No. Oh, check your mode.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, check your mode into it. See if you get wrong thing.
What mode should it be?
Should be in degree mode. Okay. Reg, is that your homework? Work done. Is that you? Yeah. It is you? Okay, there's no name on it. I just didn't know. Okay. So when you guys see this, is this your final answer? No. So they'll actually make questions like this, where if you guys round this, your final answer will be thrown off. So this isn't our final answer, so we don't want to round. I would keep like maybe like 3 digits out, right? So we're going to use x equals 1049.
733.
Alright, 733 is okay, right? But you don't want to round this to the nearest whole number and then round the answer because it will, sometimes it'll really mean. So just be careful. Now we have the information that we're looking for, right? Now we can start working with our lighthouse part of the triangle. Okay, and let's go. Frida, I like your idea of kind of redrawing things and kind of making things easier for us, right? Well, here's your little lighthouse. Okay, that's what we don't know. Meaning this was 90. My middle piece was 1049.733. And then 5, we got 5 and 85, right? So it's 5 degrees, 85 degrees. Okay, now let's check out. Can we do law of sine to figure out the lighthouse now finally? Yeah, I think so. All right, that 1049 goes with the 90. The x is going to go with the 5. So we have 2 sides and 2 corresponding angles. So we're going to do law of sine again. So your x is going to go over the sine of 5. What's your other fraction going to look like? Good job.
And wait, do you have to, when you do that, do you have to put it in, do you have to put the full thing in the, or like the 1,000, that one?
Yeah, you know what I would actually do, and this is kind of, if you guys are leaving work in your calculator, I know what you're saying, Frida.
Yeah.
I would leave, you know, for your own sake, if you're showing your work, I mean, you could write it out like this, but on your calculator, when you go to type it in, I would use the full answer that you have stored in your calculator. 5 by sine 90. I think that's what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I would take this times the sine of 5, and then divide that by the sine of 90. Right? And your sine of 90 is just 1, so when you divide by 1, your answer's not changing. So for this one, what do they ask you guys to round here? 10? So this will give you guys 91.5. Yep. So they are pretty tough. Right? They're like 2-step problems, but the way you guys start them are always the same. Okay, you always find it's a lot of work, but it's a 4-point question. Right, they haven't put one of these on in a couple exams, so I think you could definitely see it. All right, so here's another one. Okay, they're easy to recognize. Notice you have a double triangle, so they all kind of like look fairly similar. Let's make sure we have everything labeled that we need here. Okay, so triangle ABCD, got that. B, right, they give us angle BCA is 30, BCB is 7, BC is 9, 5, AB. All right, so keep in mind what we're looking for. We're trying to find AB. That is this section right here. That's our end goal. We got to get that part. Now, whenever you're looking for a double triangle, look to see about the angles. This was a teeny different. I mean, kind of the same idea, but if we know this is 90, this is 27, can we figure out this? 63, is that what we got? That's good. How did you know that? Great. Yep, have to add to 180. So you guys have 63 right here? Good. Now this is kind of the unwinding part, right? Look at your straight line here, split into 2 angles. Those angles have to add to be 180 degrees too. So what does this part have to be? Good job, guys. Okay, so this part now is 117. Good. Here. So here we have 117, 30, and then now we can figure out this little top piece. So what you got? You have 33? And I have 33? So now we have all the angles. See how it's kind of like a puzzle? With your 180s, and then hopefully you can figure out the rest of them by knowing those properties. Okay. So when we go to start this thing, what do you need to find first?
The BD line.
Good, the BD line. We always want to figure out what the middle section is first with these double triangle problems. Okay. So we have to figure this out. Now, like how Brady was saying last time, yeah, if we need to like redraw stuff, go for it. Use the triangle that has one of the sides labeled already. So see how this triangle here has the 9 already labeled? And so we're going to use that triangle first. We're going to take out that piece. It's going to be your 9. This is your 27, 3. Alright, that's what we got to find. Why don't you guys set up your law of sine? Okay, we need to figure out what x is. Are you guys, at least for your first step, getting 19.824? Somewhere around there? Okay, good. That's good. Right. Now, once we have this missing piece, now we know the middle part, that 19.824. Okay. Then we can take out the other triangle. Right, and just use that one. I'm going to take out that piece. A is 33. Here is your X. 117. this was 30, and this was 19.824. Right. Try it one more time. Let's match up what goes together. Who knows what goes with your X? Sine 30, right? Alright, and then the 19.824. Good job. Here's 9 or 30. Okay. Alright, try it out. Do your cross multiply and see what you get. Okay. Notice nearest tenth here. Nearest tenth. I know one particular mistake is really so complicated. Get back to the whole thing. That's fine. Okay, times 930. That's 1030. Now divide by 933. Right, are we saying 18.2? Awesome. I saw that in the way. That's good. Let's just start with it. Okay, here's your last one I want to do. And you guys try a lot of this by yourself. Alright, let's make sure we label it correctly and then I'll have you go from there. So, this one's talking about ship at sea, stats and distances from A and B, this is S. So they tell us that the measured angle DAC is 30. So when you guys find DAC, do we know how to read angles like that? DAC?
Yeah.
So the one in the middle is like what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. So that one's going to be 30. We know 30 is going to be in here. Check that one off. DDC, so DDC is 45. So this one's nice. We threw a little right angle in there. And they say F is 30 feet. Well, F is this part right here, the distance separated by AB. So this part right here is going to be 30 feet. Okay. Now we got to start unwinding the problem. Okay. Think about other angles you guys can find. Use this for some help in the properties. If you have 180 degrees, let's see what you get. Remember, you've got to find the middle piece first, and then you can find the height of the mountain. Okay, so this is find the height of the cliff, right? So this part. Okay, so now we just use this tree. And so we're going to put, why don't you reach, if you reach one, it will take one. How much more? I'm not going to reach one, just because when you look at one, it's like so overwhelming. But just use the triangle too, also. You want to use like, okay, whatever you want. So now, you found this, right? Okay. You can talk to each other, help each other out.
What are we supposed to round to for the first side?
Do you want to round? Is that your answer?
No, just like deciding if you can get the actual answer.
Right.
What do I round?
So I would keep like 3 decimals out. I would not round that. I would actually probably leave the answer in your calculator.
Okay.
You know, I know you guys are kind of going back and forth, but like in real life, on the exam, I would leave it in there.
Okay.
Yep, you got it. Perfect. Good job. Good job. all sorts of stuff. How to unwind everything and solve it. Anybody think they had it and want to put it up? No, you want to use just try and have your other side and the other side. This is the first part, right? So we want to use just this triangle first. And what you just want to know. Yeah, but that one is the last time.
Yes.
Okay, so
It is Reggie's, but don't be mad. Look at what Reggie found. It was like almost out. Look at the quote. Read it. Please just read it.
Oh yeah, no, good, that's right, that's right. I don't know. Are you put the wrong number in? Oh, no. Oh, I got you.
You want to know? Maybe cite it.
I'm going to put one of you guys together. I'm just going to write this stuff up here. You guys should have gotten 41 should be your answer. I'm just going to write everything up here so people can follow along at home if they need to.
I didn't think that'd be very legible. Wait, what was the answer?
41. Did they get that? Okay, so x over sine of 34. 30 over sine 15. Is that your first setup? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Now when you guys cross multiply, your x for the first part should be like 57.
Like 9555.
Yeah, 0.955. And this part, just check your calculations one more time. Alright, you know this. I mean, one little thing, if you guys, don't type it in right, it kind of comes up crazy. Back up here. Alright, when you guys take out your other triangle. Alright, 57.955 over sine 90 equals x over sine 45, and then when we finish with our cross multiplication, it should be x is about 40.98. Alright, which is just the nearest integer is whole number, 41. So just check it out. I know with problems like these, it's very easy to mix up what's a side and what's an angle when you plug it into your formula. So just make sure, you guys can only take a trig function with an angle, so make sure there's angles there. Right? So your homework is that worksheet. It's only 2 questions. Right? The first question is like the exact same thing that you guys were doing, right? All classes. The second one is a little bit more difficult, and I think takes some extra thought. But both of them are off region exams. Okay, they're just ways you guys can see this funky stuff come up.